Out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called Riduzone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's work. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to Riduzone.com and try today. You're going to love it. Riduzone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
Good afternoon, Spoony listeners. There we go. Woo! Thought I lost my voice for a minute. Man, all I could hear is music. Nothing was coming out. You know, it's already Wednesday. Jeez, Wednesday. We got a lot of stuff on the plate today. Hope you're hungry for some food news, a little fun, a little foie gras talk anyway. We can't eat that stuff anymore. Unfortunately, the best food known to man, not available. We're going to go into that a little bit. Anyway, I don't know if he's on the line yet. Nope, not yet. Hey, we got Cody Storts. Cody launched last week on Spoony Radio. If you haven't caught his podcast yet, last week was his initial podcast on Spoony, and the show is called Reckless, which is the name of the restaurant where he's executive chef. And as a matter of fact, there he is. I just got the signal. He is on the phone. So, hey, Cody, you there, buddy?
How are you doing today?
Oh, man. I'm good. How you doing?
Hey, it's beautiful, beautiful, lightly chill here in Southern California. Life is good.
Yeah, I woke up, I think it was like 34 degrees this morning. It was pretty chilly for Texas, but it's a dry chill, so it's okay.
Yeah, they always say that about Palm Springs. Heat is heat, cold is cold. I'm one of those, like, stick to it guys. Commitment.
I lived in Arizona for years, and I'll tell you what, 120 degrees, whether it's humid or dry, is freaking hot. I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it does. It does. Oh, man. So you told me what the show topic was for. So Reckless, your podcast launched last week. I hope you got some good reviews. It was excellent show, by the way. Show number 2 launches tonight. I believe it's 5 on the West Coast and 8 on the East Coast. But you picked a pretty controversial topic this time. I know why, because we just lost a little fight against the ban on foie gras. But, man, you want to talk about that, or are you going to cry and break down and throw a fit like I'm going to? Probably.
I've spilled enough tears, I think, to understand. I disagree with the ban completely, and I'll stand by that. Just because I think that foie gras is one of the most unicorn of epic foods known to man. I don't agree with them telling us what we can and cannot eat, but hey, the law is the law. So
absolutely.
I smile and nod and keep it in my freezer so I can eat it personally.
Hey man, the little candy hearts are gone on Valentine's Day now too. So geez, I mean, what do we do? We all our favorite food stuff's going by the wayside. Candy cigarettes. Well, you can still buy those in some places, but just not in the corner store anymore. So this, I mean, that battle was a long time. It was like 6 years, I think it's been in the courts, right?
Yeah, it's been on and off, and we won it, and then it was going to the Supreme Court, and I guess now it's actually going to be heard, and so they said now we're back in the appeal process in California, where we can't sell foie gras for resale in California right now, which is a very sad thing.
So you can't. Can you acquire it all? Yeah, or not even retail resale. You can't. So you can't sell it at the retail level. Can they sell it at the wholesale level?
I can't get it from California, but magically sometimes it appears to me from other states. If you know what I mean?
No, I have no clue.
just like a magician.
No idea how that works, man.
Exactly.
Nope. I used to have my buddy drive ramps to me because it was cheaper to have him drive them halfway across the country than to order them for the couple of weeks they're available a year. Ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. Interesting flavor. Great, addition to some lovely spring dishes, but geez, man, $30 to $60 a pound is kind of silly. So
and then you end up just pickling them so that you can keep them for longer.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. So you got to buy them the minimum is a pound, and usually you try and get 2 pounds at a time, so you actually get some. But you're right. It's kind of like chives, I mean, unless you use a bunch of chives and you order a pound at a time, you just never get through that last bunch. And then there's times a year where the herbs are just terrible. You get like a half day out of them. I'm not knocking the farmers. You guys are doing your job. It's just hard. It's tough. And not every person in the kitchen always takes care of stuff the way they're supposed to. But, I'm just going to cry if we talk about, I'm not cry. I'm going to get upset if we talk about foie gras. All right. But I'll tell you what, you had a badass looking double cut pork chop on the plate last week. I think you put the post up. Man, tell me about that dish.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I am a huge lover of pork.
Yes, me too.
In general, so all of pork, all of pork. You can just there's so much to do with it, and that's a Duroc hog, and that's a center cut loin. We French it, and take all the pieces out, and we use all the little pieces in between the bones. Inside the collard greens, we actually put on the bottom with bacon. But I took a old school tradition and took we used to in Texas, as you know, when I grew up, tea was just sweet tea. There was no like when I came to California and they gave me tea, I was like, this is disgusting. Where's the sugar? I had no idea that it didn't exist.
Sun tea. What the hell is sun tea?
I grew up that all tea was sweet. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought it was the worst thing on the planet. So I brought back a little bit of roots to the West Coast, and we do a sweet tea brine on that thing for at least 24, sometimes 48 hours, and then sous vide 143.5 for another 5 hours. And then we just pick it up on the grill so it stews the outside, medium rare to medium in between all the way through, and that thing eats like butter, like absolutely like butter. It's unbelievable.
That sounds good. Oh man, that sounds delicious. While you're talking about that, I was thinking about how rich and buttery that is. One of the first real, I had foie gras several times, but the first really great dish I had was in Aspen. And I was just thinking how buttery it was and that caramelization on the outside. And great chef up there named Martin Oswald was a chef at a place called Syzygy. And he did this. It was fantastic. Of course, he had the toast points. It was very classic. He was a European spa-trained chef. And but I had this blackberry kind of caramely. It wasn't like a gastrique. And it wasn't a reduction. It was just somewhere in between there, but it just had a richness that I hadn't had like that before. And then with some of the fresh berries, it's just a little bite. Oh man, it was just unbelievable. And the fact, I know I said we weren't going to talk about it, but the fact that my kids may never get to eat that breaks my heart. Well, I can still get it in Texas, so come on out.
Yeah, it's only in California that the ban is. Yeah, that's and it's the. I'm going to be really sort of political and say that's just how California sometimes rolls. They got a little more laws out here that PETA either has their hands on or not. So, we used to do foie gras French toast, and it was the most unbelievable thing on the planet. I do like orange and honey dipped brioche, and then seared foie gras on top of it with like pita brittle, and that was breakfast. That's living the dream.
Yeah, what's that line from City Slickers when Curly dies? You can't eat bacon for every meal. You just can't. Or the man ate bacon for every meal. You can't do that. Yeah, I would, if I had it if it was available to me and I could afford to eat it every meal, which was great. When you're working chef, you get to eat all sorts of stuff you don't normally get to on a regular basis. But yeah, I could definitely have a little bit every meal. A little.
Well, the best part of the show that's going up tonight is the gentleman that's on it is like a food masochist. He eats like hot food, and he's all about challenges, and really great guy. But he had never had foie before. So we cook up about 1.5 pound lobe and just eat it and try to get gout throughout the show is pretty much what happens.
Man, sounds good. Sounds really good.
Yeah, try to clog an artery right away was the goal.
Did you? So you know that New York's trying to get a ban in place now too. I think it's going to the courts here pretty quick.
It is.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what the date is. I just was reading something last week about that. I know the chefs are fighting pretty hard, and you have the same heavy hitters as you do on the West Coast. The difference is the average New Yorker, I think. They may be way more liberal than the rest of the country, but they're a lot more conservative, or at least center of left, than the average Californian. So there may be a chance that it will fail. I'm going to cross my fingers, say a prayer, and throw it out there to the universe for the powers to be to protect the chefs in New York, because I can't imagine going to Per Se and not getting something with foie gras on it. Would just, why go? Really? If you can't have...
It's the unicorn of food. I mean, it's got to happen.
Oh man, can we just stop using unicorn colors in food though? I don't want any more gold-plated chicken wings. And don't get me wrong. Okay, I specialize in Japanese food. I trained with some great chefs. And what's the first thing you do when you start to do high-end Japanese food? You put kimpaku on there, right? The gold flake, edible gold flake, and silver.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start wrapping desserts in it. So I don't know. Maybe I fed that cause at one point. I apologize to all the chefs and diners out there, but man, who was doing the wings? The wing wasn't KFC, was it? Or what, Buffalo Wild Wings?
I don't know who was doing the wings. But yeah, we had the unicorn shakes out here, milkshakes. Those were obnoxious, and people loved them. There was lines around the block, but it baffles me. Well, I think it was just vanilla. I don't know. It wasn't even anything crazy.
Well, yeah, it was vanilla. It had a couple sprinkles on top, a couple of rows of sprinkles, just a rainbow on the top. Like what is it, My Pretty Pony? But yeah, food should look and taste like food. That's all I got to say. Okay.
I agree. I just had a tasting for the Impossible Burger today, and I think it should just be called the Impossible.
Okay, so
it's not a burger. I'm still standing by it.
It's not, but I'll be honest with you. So we were at the NRA show in Chicago. Do you going this year, by the way, up in Chicago? You going to the NRA, the National Restaurant Association? It's the 100th anniversary of the National Restaurant Association's food show. Now I'll ask again, are you going this year?
Yeah, awesome. Yes, absolutely. 100%. We're in.
Cool. Good. Well, you can, we'll do some live interviews and do some real fun stuff up there. But we were right next to wasn't the Impossible Burger. What's the other one? There's a second one. And actually it was better than the Impossible Burger. And if they had not told me, I would have thought that it was actually the flavor was awesome. The texture was a little off, but I would have thought it was just an off patty, like the grind was wrong, or the blend or had been frozen too long. The flavor was really good though. I'll look it up in the break here, but that was good. The Impossible Burger, not so much. And I don't like the way it bleeds, like a burger's supposed to bleed. The beet juice runs out. It's weird.
Bizarre.
Oh, so
yeah, it's bizarre to me. I'm like, come on, guys.
So on that note, we've talked about, look, food is food. Call it what it is. If it's vegetable based, but I read a story. I don't know if you probably you're working, so you probably don't listen to the show. But there is the UK's first vegan cheese shop opened up recently. Okay, now I'll give them kudos for having a really cool play on words as the name. That's La Faux-Magerie, right? Faux. Brilliant. All right.
Oh my goodness.
It's good.
That is good. That is good. I'll give him credit on that one.
So on that, I have to say, and it says plant-based cheesemonger. All right, at least they say plant-based. It's right on the front door. You can't mistake it. But now the dairy farmers really aren't happy that they're using the C word with vegetable-based products because it has no dairy in it. So, I mean, you and I talk about that all the time. Label it what it is. Like turkey bacon isn't turkey bacon. It's turkey look like bacon. But
right.
But I mean, really, what else can you call it? I mean, are you going to create a whole new word to describe it and add to our culinary lexicon? I'm sitting here, I got the Food Lover's Companion here with 7,000 terms in it, and we're going to add another one in the books just because it's something that's where do we stop with the nonsense, really? I don't know.
I actually think them putting faux in front of it solves the problem. I'll have to give them credit on that one. The Impossible Burger, I actually thought it was meat when I read it. But if it would have said a faux burger, I would have said, okay, I get what you're saying. At least I know it's not trickery. I think the fromage solves that word, but I can understand how that would be a little like bitter. It's not the same process. Obviously, you're not curing or aging the vegetables. I don't think it's more of a binding agent. I haven't seen that, but I'm going to check it out. But I think putting faux in front of it solves it. It's when it's complete buffoonery, like restaurants that are called like, Outback, and it's like, and I'm not talking a steakhouse. We have a vegan place called like The Ranch, and you're like, what are you getting from The Ranch? Like carrots? I think beef, right? Like you go in there and you're like, you lied to me. What's wrong with you?
Should say the farm, right? Or what? The pasture.
Yeah, right. It's when I get tricked. I'm obviously, vegetables are a secondary substance for me. So.
Well, you talked about aging vegetables. I think I'll try to dry age my carrots for 60 days and see what kind of a vegetarian burger can turn that into. But I don't think it's the same effect, unfortunately.
No, I doubt you'll get that earthy hazelnut from that.
Okay, so, you talk about naming things. Is it the Cattlemen's Association? They wanted to, didn't they sue these vegetarian, vegetable-based, plant-based burger manufacturers for calling them meat? Now, it's a burger, right? Burger's just a shape, patty. But there were these plant-based meats. They were really upset. It's the U.S. Cattlemen's Association. I think they started the lawsuit in Missouri. And they've kind of set a precedent. And that precedent now has carried over into the other parts, like the dairy farmers. Now, we're not talking about cheese this time. They're talking about nut milks, right? So the farmers,
right?
Okay, so I'm all for calling it what it is, all right. But at least you're saying almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk. I get that. They would rather it be called nut juice.
Yeah, the marketing on that's a little harder.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help it. But that's really what they wanted to. Yeah. I mean, what else do you call it?
Nothing. I mean, it is nut juice. I mean, they're not wrong. But almond milk does have a slighter, nicer ring to it.
I'm not sure you've ever been at a loss for words. I'm glad I caught you on that one. But yeah, so they
yeah, I'm like, well,
Yeah, there was this big thing they call it's a tiger nut is what they call it. It grows under the ground, I believe. And they take the juice from that. They call it tiger nut milk is what they actually call it, or tiger nut juice, one or the other. And I'm like, man, y'all got to just figure something out with that one because it just doesn't sound right. Take the tiger off, add something else on there, or explain that the tiger plant nut milk something. It just isn't right. And fortunately, it's pretty rare, so I don't think we're going to run across it. But let's see, what are the other queer?
Yeah, tiger milk is one thing. Tiger nut milk is a different thing.
Come on, dude. All right, so you live in.
I mean, it is what it is. You're like, all right, I got it.
I'm gonna alienate a bunch of my friends right now, and because I love California. It's got the most dramatic coastline that goes from, you go from San Diego, they're very rocky, dramatic. Go down the Strand towards Tijuana. You have that really big, beautiful open beaches, and then you go north, and they flatten out a little bit when you get past Dana Point, blah blah blah, and then it gets really rugged and you're going north. But in the land of fruits and nuts, which we call California, beautiful place. Hard to get things done. There's a new short film that's called Casa de Carne, right? And it explores. So the theory is that it's a restaurant where, and I don't think they actually kill any animals in the film, but that's the idea. Is if you want to eat meat, you have to kill the animal that you're going to eat. So it's a short. I don't know how long the film is. I'm going to have to watch this. I don't know where it's. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's basically a short film PSA, public service announcement that's called Casa de Carne. I have to watch this. And it was
yeah, I'm going to check that out for sure.
It won first place at the 2019 Animal Film Festival. Okay, so I mean there was a purpose in where it was shown as well, but basically it shows the guy's in a butcher's apron. He's got his knife in his hand. He's in this all white room. Okay, it's not going to be a white room. It's going to have like concrete floor with stainless steel walls. You got to mop that. You got to clean this room every time. And so he's facing down this pig, and the pig basically comes up and he's rubbing under the pig's chin. Now, this is kind of vegan activism at its best. I try not to get into politics at all, but I do have to say there is a valid point here. And it's not about taking the animal's life, right? I look at this more from a volume of consumption standpoint. You've butchered animals from live, right?
Absolutely.
It's a lot of damn work, right?
It's a ton of work. It's way more than what people understand, and I think that you, as a chef, you should have to do that.
I agree. So I grew up in a
work.
Yeah, I grew up most of the time in a rural area in upstate New York, and so I learned how to help butcher cattle at 5, and started helping at. Geez, I was probably 3 when I started helping that. My dad had a acre and a half acre garden at least, but it's a lot of work. And so when you have to harvest your own food, or when you do harvest your own food, all that effort you put into raising, growing, and then butchering and harvesting. It's a lot of effort, and so you're probably less likely to consume as much. Plus, it's really not any cheaper, right? It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's not inexpensive. Now, that I think that we're a gluttonous society because we are so far removed from the food that we put on our table. It's a push button society. You want it, walk to the kiosk, order it, pick it up at the counter, walk out. Hell, you don't even. And I've said this 100 times. You don't even have to drive through McDonald's, through the fast food window, to get a McRib anymore. You call Uber Eats and they bring it to you. How effing lazy have we become? I know we're busy, but I mean, and having to put that meal on the table, having to take the life of a chicken to eat a chicken, or pork. I don't think there were no vegans in my family, right? Not when I was a kid. We all ate everything that was put on the table, but it is a lot more work and it's a lot harder. And now the point he's making is not right, but I think it could have explored in a different way. Anyway, your thoughts? Shall we boycott it? We should boycott the vegan film.
You're like, absolutely, boycott the vegan film. I think that all of it. I think people just need to realize. I wish everybody had to have a garden just to see how much work it actually is, and what the time restraints on, and for what we actually get in restaurants. And we're just lost at, I think, where food comes from, is what I believe. I mean, we're so far separated from where a ranch is or where a farm is, and what the words farm to table even mean anymore. It's like, come on, guys. It's a hard gig.
It really is. And God bless our farmers, ranchers, and look, I have nothing against being vegan. I was vegan for a long time in Japan. I made that choice for health reasons. Same reason I quit drinking and drinking alcohol and caffeine.
Right.
Alcohol has come back, and caffeine in very moderate amounts. I'm not, full disclosure there. It's a lifestyle choice. All right. I'm just tired of, how if someone's a vegan, because they'll tell you.
Yeah, right. They wear the shirt.
Yeah, well, and look, I'm not trying to pick on, I got a lot of vegan friends. I'm going to try to pick on you. But, I don't think that you have to be an activist either to kind of promote your agenda. And actually, look, at least he's not out there, boycotting in Whole Foods, right? He's not doing anything that's disruptive. He made a movie. It's good for him, and apparently he won an award for it. So I'm gonna have to watch this, man. We should find a way to watch it online, do a little viewing party, get a bunch of chefs involved, or if there's a place it's showing, instead of boycotting, we should go in with like some BLT sandwiches in our pocket and like eat those during the show.
Yeah, just heat them up nicely so the whole place smells like bacon. I'm in. I'm
such an ass. I'm sorry. This guy's like trying to make a really valid point. Spend his own money making this film, and now making fun of him. It's yeah. Hey, are you gonna stay?
It happens. It happens.
Are you gonna stay through the break? I promise I'll let you talk more in the second half.
No, I gotta get back in this kitchen, man. I just want to give a shout out, and I always love hearing your nice voice there, brother.
Oh man, thank you. Anybody you want to give a shout out to? And there's got to be someone who's kicking ass in the kitchen this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you right now. I've got a new suit that's coming up. She is awesome. Jackie has just been crushing it this week. She has been put out. I put her out first time on the grill station, and for Valentine's week, and we took a beating. And no steaks coming back. She was just on point. So I got to give props to Jackie for crushing it this week. No steaks came back on Valentine's. Yeah, that's a big move, right? That's a big move. That's huge. That's huge.
Anybody else, real quick? You got about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then always Tony for putting together another great show, and then the gluttony of who gets to hear us eat this foie gras and grunt and pleasure tonight. That's who the shout out to is for you guys.
Oh man, foie gras wrapped in bacon or bacon wrapped in foie gras. There we go. I swear to God, Twitter followers, I am not
happy.
I am not anti-bacon. Hey, Cody, thanks for calling in, man. It's always a pleasure. I'll chat with you off air. Have a good night of service, and appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to the show.
Awesome. See you then.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
All right, so, wow, first half hour is already done. Man, I didn't even get through half the stuff I want to talk about. Maybe they're right. Maybe I do talk over my guests. I don't know. Anyway, second half of the hour, we're going to talk a little bit about speakeasies, right? They're kind of coming back the last 10 years. They're these little hidden gems, bars that are cool that you can't find. That's what they are, all right? So come right back in 2 minutes. We'll see you on the other side.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T. and get 15% off your purchase.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as far, from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
Have you done it? You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror?
I'm one of those people you don't want to see naked.
Yeah, most of us. But I mean, you look and you're going, what the?
I know.
How did I get to whatever?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs to tell you about a different way to shed those pounds. This is brand new tech. It's only been around for a couple of years or so. It was based on research from the University of California that said there's a molecule called OEA that's found naturally in your body. It produces it in the Mediterranean diet, that when taken in concentrated amounts, it will actually make you feel fuller and boost your metabolism.
I've lost about 10 pounds so far.
It's amazing.
It
Now,
really is cool.
A company said, we can take this to market and make this great product that'll help you. It's called RiduZone, RIDUZone.com, RIDUZone.com. It's Brad's worked. It's worked for Brad's, worked for me, countless other people. Go to RiduZone.com and try today. You're going to love it. RiduZone.com. Remember that, RIDUZone.com.
Man, it's a feisty little arm here, this little mount. Man. Okay, I'm trying to adjust the mic here. It doesn't want to go anywhere. Welcome back, Spoony listener. Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro here. If you missed the first half hour with Cody Stortz, the host and also chef of the restaurant Reckless, really good guy. His story is fantastic. He was a front of the house guy, server, manager, opened a ton of restaurants, was a big boy, had a little stuff done to fix himself up, and he's all healthy and running kitchens and kicking butt out in Orange County in California. Anyway, if you're out there, look up Reckless. Fantastic guy, great food, man. And just go like and share his page. It's just Chef Cody Stortz, or you can go to, I think it's Cody Stortz : Reckless, I think. Anyway, I was talking a little bit about speakeasies, right? So the speakeasy, the what do you call it? These secret bars that they had during the era of Prohibition, they're coming back. They've been coming back for a while. I actually, we have an idea for one. Jeffrey Klein, my consulting partner, he's probably not listening today, but it's too bad because I'm going to talk about another friend of ours named Shingo Gokhan. And Shingo Gokhan has won the Bacardi Open, which is a pretty big challenge, to be honest with you, because Bacardi doesn't have a lot of great... okay. Their line of products is not what it used to be. And so to win that is pretty impressive. But Shingo's a young man from Japan. He's 36 years old. I believe he's from Kawasaki City in Japan. Shingo is, I believe, the best bartender in the world. I know he's ranked in the top 10. I believe he was number one last year, but he founded some of the that first generation of these beautiful Japanese-style cocktail bars. This is where the whole mixologist thing came in. They dress very classy. Everyone wears their vest. They got their their white shirt buttoned down all the way to the wrist. Always have a tie, a bow tie, whatever it be, whatever style suits your particular facility. Shingo kind of laid the groundwork for all of these places that came up. So one of them was named Speak Low. I think Speak Low is in Shanghai. I don't think he's some sort of partner in that. But then he came to New York and they did Angel's Share, and then he started doing. So he did the Morimoto's restaurant. I know Morimoto's restaurant in Bangkok because we asked him to. But I know he also did one in the Middle East for him this last year. Anyway, he's got a bunch of other ones. I think there's one called Sober that he just opened up. I don't remember what the other one is. It's right next door, but there are two adjacent facilities now. He just opened up, I think it's SG, Shingo Gokhan, his initials, in Japan. He's got a ton of things going on. This guy's busier than anyone I know in the industry. As a matter of fact, I think he was on 80 flights last year to 40 different cities. 80 flights. That's a lot of flying. All right. And I used to fly a lot. That's a lot of flying. So anyway, there's this resurgence, right? And I was in downtown Dallas, I guess, about a little over a year ago. And the Statler, I think it's the Statler Hotel. Make sure, don't want to get it wrong, had just been reopened, and it's a beautiful property. I believe it was built in like the 50s, 40s. It's an old build. It opened in 1956. Sorry, and so it's a beautiful reconstruction of this building. And in the basement, so you go in, you take a right. There's a ramp that goes down. You get on one more flight of stairs back the other direction towards the lobby, and you end up in this lobby. It's like a miniature lobby. It's about the size of our studio here. And on one side, there's a sofa, there's a chair, there's a coffee table, there's a solid looking wall here, there's a solid wall behind everything else, and the entrance is behind you. So there's a phone booth on the wall. But it's a stand-up phone booth. You walk into it, and you have to figure out how to get the door open. I'm not sure. I think they should have a camera out there so that the people that have made it inside could have some viewing pleasure, basically some free entertainment. But it was very cool. It took us a little while to figure out how to get in. Finally got inside and didn't stay long. I just heard about it. One of the cool things that they do is if it's your first time there, when you order a signature cocktail, they actually give you the recipe on this card that's folded over and wax sealed. And it's very, very cool. But again, there are all these bars like this popping up all over the world. They're a little overdone. In my opinion, you can't have too much of a good thing. But I'm going to give you, depending on where you're going, right? I may have one for you to find. So there's an article I found about 38 hidden bars around the world and how to find them. Now, there are hidden pockets in other or hidden rooms in other bars or establishments. I think it's Shakespeare's. Is it Shakespeare's? No, it's what's his name? The detective. What's the detective's name? The English sleuth. What's his name? Watson and
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, thanks. Hey, new guy behind the glass. Woo! Yeah, we have an intern here who's kicking butt, by the way. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it because Matlock, who has been running the board for me, had to hop on a plane, go do some real business, and I don't know if he's going to see family or make us money, one or the other. It's real business. So these these places are popping up all over the world. Now, when you go to Shakespeare's, they do have a secret room there, but it's really the restroom, and it's behind the library wall, in case you don't know where it is. But these are real bars that exist, and they're fascinating. How difficult it is to not just locate the entrance, but locate where the actual structure exists. A lot of these are insider information only. You know, kind of this supply and demand thing. If you don't, hey, I'm with you, man. It's freezing in here, which feels good. All right, I like it cold in here, but man, producer Ron has had this AC cranked down to about 45 for the last 5 or 6 days, and I think a couple of the gentiles around here are starting to get a little jittery. So anyway, these are really fascinating. Like there's one that's inside of a taco shop. There's one inside of a noodle shop. Sometimes they're described as like umbrella shops or video stores. It's kind of like Jeffrey Klein had a place in South Beach that was actually, it was called Asian Noodle. And when you walked in, it was actually a noodle bar, ramen place, which was really good. But you walked to the back, it was a sushi bar. So it was kind of, it was, but nobody knew about the sushi bar. And if you did, you were in and you brought other people, and eventually everyone knew. But these 35 bars, hidden bars around the world. I'm going to give you a few of them here. So there's one that's actually very good. It's in the Hollywood, and it's in a strip mall, and it's called Adults Only. And it's an upscale dive bar that's at the corner of Hollywood Strip Mall and Sunset and La Brea. I've been there. I've never been in. I know where it is. So I drove by. Matter of fact, Doc and I took a drive by and got out, just looked. We didn't go in when we were there in I think last year, April or whenever it was. Anyway, but it's kind of cool because the entrance is made to resemble like the adult section of a fake Hollywood video store, with a wide selection of VHS tapes, movie posters, all that kind of stuff. And then when you walk through the entrance, you arrive at the bar. Right, so and then there's like this hanging cathedral lamps, and they've reupholstered church pews to kind of catch your eye. It's a little over the top, but of course it's Hollywood, so the drinks are over the top as well. They have everything from spicy to mezcal laced margaritas to stone fruit mojitos. Really good stuff. But if you happen to be in LA, again, that's Adults Only. That's at La Brea and Sunset. All right. Don't tell them I told you. I don't want to get in trouble. There's another one called Backdoor 43. And this is in Milan. And this claims to be the world's smallest bar. Now, I've never been to Milan, but this bar is 13 square feet. Okay, 13 square feet. That's not even 4 by. That's not 4 by 4. That's like 4 feet by 3 feet and a few inches. So, I mean, it really could only have, I think it's 4 guests at a time. I don't even know how you could stand in there. You're talking really 13 square feet is literally the size of this table. So if you're watching today, this is a standard diner table that this is, I think, from the late 60s, mid 60s. 4 people standing within the what is now the surface area of this table is ridiculous. So, actually, and if you have any gas and bloating, that would be really embarrassing. That's why you need to go to lovemytummy.com, try Atrantil. It's an amazing product that, we're not supposed to make any claims, but it's used for and can be effective for bloating, if you have Crohn's disease, gastrointestinal distress. It actually, I know there have been some positive outcomes for people that are gluten intolerant or gluten sensitive. Anyway, just go to lovemytummy.com, check it out. It's a great product. As a matter of fact, since I started using this, I think, and this was not a weight loss product, but in changing my diet slightly, and then just using this product, I think I'm down like, I was at 213. I'm at 203.4 right now. So about 10 pounds. Again, not a weight loss product, but it works really well. I'm telling you, it's changed my life a little bit. So, all right, Backdoor 43 again, 13 square feet. Man, that's smaller than most people's closet. So, again, if you don't want to be in an enclosed space like that, because you will get caught. It's not like you're walking out in public down the street. You just do what you want. Never anybody blames the dog. You may want to try that product. Just saying. All right. Next is Bank Bar. So I know where this one is too. So Bank Bar, I've not been there, but I've seen this before. Bank Bar is actually in the Philippines, and it's the storefront is a 7-Eleven. But when you get through to the back of the convenience store, there's a hidden entrance. All right, I think it's where the storage room is, and it leads you into this amazingly chic, like not even Art Deco style. It's kind of like upscale 50s, 40s. I mean, really plush. Think Wall Street in the heyday in the 40s and 50s. It's a beautiful room. It's pretty small. They do have some food there. Excellent cocktails. They have like crispy truffle French fries. They have salted egg yolk, rock shrimp, tempura. They all sorts of stuff. Ox blended. Oh man, ox blended cheeseburger sliders. So if you've never had, everybody hears of like you hear of oxtail soup. It's very rich. The broth that you get from ox bones, which you really don't get oxen bones anymore. And now what you're getting are beef bones. But if you can get real ox, it is unbelievable. The richness, there's a fattiness to it that's not cloying, that adds so much flavor. It's unbelievable. Anyway, that's Bank Bar. That's in the Philippines. I think it's in Manila, but I'll post this so everybody can find it and take a look. There's one in Brisbane, Australia. I think it's called, is it Jake Day? Jake Day? I think it's called Jake Day. Anyway, that's, I think that you go through, so you can go through the vintage items that are there. Basically, it's like a thrift shop, right? But they have some really exclusive small batch wines, spirits, craft beers, and I know they have a live DJ and stuff like that. I've seen film of this one before, so it's not that secret. The next one, though, this is a really high-end, really cool place. This is called Foxglove. This is Hong Kong. Hong Kong, I'll tell you what, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, Southeast Asia in general, the larger cities have some of the coolest, most fascinating places to dine and drink. This one, Foxglove, is actually built to look like an umbrella store, and I'm not talking like an umbrella store where you have a bunch of umbrellas stick in the can with a handle up, and you just grab one. It costs $8, or the little ones that you pop open that are just stacked on the shelves. You know, the little handheld, small purse size or travel umbrellas. We're talking behind a glass case, displayed like Rolex. You know, lengthwise, rolled up neatly, uniform, lighted cases. I mean, everything is basically in a shadow box and highlighted. That's what this looks like. When you walk in, it's basically these rows of shelves to your right and left that are parallel in the direction that you're facing. They run that direction. And so you walk down through this long corridor. Well, it looks like a long corridor, but it's actually pretty short. I'm guessing space is pretty premium in Hong Kong, so it can't be more than 20 feet or so. But as you walk through, you can see these, the umbrellas. And umbrellas, I'm telling you what, I borrowed someone's umbrella in Japan one time. I worked at a place called The Bank, and The Bank was run by this older Japanese guy, and I actually bartended there at night while I was working during the day. And one of the guys that came in there, his name was Mr. Fukuda. He was a very wealthy man. He actually was raised, he was a Japanese gentleman who was raised by a very wealthy, he was adopted by a family in New Zealand, and then later came back to Japan and was very successful. But he left his umbrella there one night, and it was raining out, and so I lived like 5 blocks away. I grabbed the umbrella and walking home. Well, this umbrella apparently was like $2,700. Come on, guys. It's a freaking umbrella. It keeps water off your head. But, I mean, it had a couple of cool things. So if you twisted the handle one way, it had to... a lot of them have like this mallard duck head as the handle. This one had a very sleek version of something like that. I don't remember what the bird was. The cloth, right? The actual umbrella, the protective cloth, felt like silk. It was so soft. It was like almost like raw silk. It was like this brushed, smooth. It was beautiful. And if you twisted the handle one way and pulled it out, it had this little dagger, which I'm sure is probably not allowed in Japan, because what do you poke somebody on the subway when you get upset because they're cramming you in the cars? Well, he didn't go by subway. He had a private driver. But if you twisted it the other way, then the length, the rest of the shaft of the length of the umbrella became a flask. So I don't remember how many ounces you could put in there, but very cool. Anyway, Foxglove is probably one of the most aesthetically pleasing venues that I've seen. When you look at the overall picture, the image of seeing these beautifully displayed rows of, doesn't matter what it was, they could be katana swords, they could be Rolexes, in this case it's umbrellas, but when you look straight ahead of you and it's 20 feet in front of you, there's this beautiful bar, this really deep, rich, probably old oak, or it might be mahogany, but I don't think so. It's too deep and rich. It might be, I don't know, something cherry. But anyway, when you walk up there, there's just one bartender leaning there waiting for you to arrive. You have arrived. You have found it. You can now order your drink for probably $30. But if I ever get to Hong Kong, I'm going to have to try that. So some of the drinks they have are the North Side. That's made with mint infused Citadel gin, raspberries, ginger, lemon, sugar, and seltzer. They also have seasonal bites, food. They have everything from like caviar to sea urchin and braised beef cheeks. By the way, braised beef cheeks in Spanish, they call it barbacoa. And beef cheek, cows have a tremendously strong and dense muscle in the jaw. And like most really dense, really heavily utilized muscle tissue, it has to be braised. It has to be cooked for a very long time. And so it's basically, I'm only 1 hour. You lucked out. So anyway, they have, you braise it really slowly. And by braising, I mean you basically, you sear it to get a coloration, some caramelization, and additional flavor on there. But then you put a little bit of liquid in there. It could be a third to halfway up. If you cover it, you're boiling it, so that's not braising. But then you typically put it covered in the oven and roast it very slowly. And what happens is it just falls apart. If you have not had like barbacoa, or if you can get braised beef cheek somewhere that you go, Thalia, Thalia, was just south of Columbus Circle in Manhattan. They probably have had, that was the best beef cheek I ever had. They had that and this sweet red cabbage like Rotkohl, like they make in Germany. This wonderfully rich and slightly sweet, but still vinegary cabbage. And they had that braised beef cheek on there, so that you had the sweetness and the vinegar to cut through that. Anyway, beef cheek, if you can find it, eat it. Find a little taqueria near you. As a matter of fact, if you live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'll give a plug to Fuel City right down the street, right here in Haltom City, outside of Fort Worth. They have a number of locations around here. They all have a taco stand inside. They all have barbacoa. Give it a try. All right. Trust me. I was getting chastised on Facebook, by the way. Chef Patrick needs to understand that the C word is not for cheese. I was just reading the article, folks. It's the other C word, okay? I was just reading the article. My apologies if I offended anyone. Please do not turn off the radio. Please continue to like Spoony. Tell all your friends, family, share the video. Be sure to download it. And, even if you listen, you want to listen again. So go to Spreaker. You can actually go to the website, go to the show host page, click on my face. Well, actually, my face isn't on there. You can click on the Food Biz Pro card logo. It'll take you right to Spreaker. You can download the podcast. Do us a favor. Watch the full commercial, because that's how we get paid. So watch the full commercial. It's only like a minute. Might even be less. Might be a little more. I don't know. Make yourself a cup of tea while you're doing that. Make yourself a cocktail. Find the next place you want to go on vacation. I don't know. Watch it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Unless you want to sponsor the show, then just give us a call after. All right. The next one is Kalu Calais. I have no idea where this. Oh, this is in London. Never heard of it before. It's in It's got a Victorian feel. It has apparently lounge seating and exposed brick walls. But where is it? You access the bar through a Narnia style. If you've ever seen the Lion, the Witch in the Lion, Witch in the Wardrobe, something like that. Witch, Wardrobe, Lion, something like that. You know how it goes. The whole Narnia Chronicles. you have to go through a wardrobe closet, and then another third bar so there's a regular bar. You go through the second bar, you go through a wardrobe closet, and then there's a third bar if you go up a set of stairs. So some of their drinks include the Miltimate. All right. That sounds a little too much like Vegemite, so I'm not sure I'm going to try that one, but it's Ketel One vodka, green tomato, but it's green, Grene. I need to find out if that's actually like a tomato liqueur. Tomatillo. And tomatillo, if you don't know what tomatillo is, it's not actually a tomato, but if you want to substitute fried green tomatoes, you can't get green tomatoes at a certain time of year, and you want to do a really cool appetizer for your guests, then you take those little tomatillos, you have to peel them. It's got kind of this sticky skin on there. You peel those off and slice them about a quarter of an inch thin. You soak them in a little buttermilk and then do a little cornmeal bread coating on there. Really fine cornmeal though. Don't get the big chunky stuff. Don't use panko because they're so small. And then when they come out of the fryer, you basically fry them for 350 it doesn't take long, maybe a minute, a little less. And they're going to be small. They're bite size. But then you just take basically, I don't want to say avocado salsa, but that's really what it is. It's chunky, very uniformly diced avocados with like red serrano chilies, a little lime juice, fresh cilantro, a little garlic in there. If it's a party, you don't want to have too much garlic in there, and some really finely diced red onion. It's really good. And then you have to make sure that you cool those down a minute before you put them on the plate to be served because people burn their mouths, but it's really tasty. All right, so that's Ketel One vodka, the green tomato, tomatillo, apple acid. Man, these are awesome. And orange bitters. I need to find out what all these ingredients are. They have the Swallowtail, which is Tanqueray gin, Amante. Oh man, I was having such a hard time the other day pronouncing the wines, but this is Amontillado sherry, Butterfly Sorrel, hazelnut, orgeat, and blackberry, anise, and lemon. That's a lot going on there, but it sounds pretty good. All right, next. Oh, Gyubar. Gyubar is that's in Japan. That's Niseko, I think. So Gyubar is actually, the entrance is outside, and the entrance is a red freezer door that's sticking from a snowbank. It's sticking out from a snowbank. The bar is also known as the fridge door, and it's because of its location, it's renowned for its rare Japanese whiskey selections. And if you've never had a Japanese whiskey, it's not a bourbon or a scotch because it's not from those specific areas, but Japanese whiskeys are amazing. And as a matter of fact, Suntory, I believe, owns is it the Jim Beam Corporation? Yeah, I think it's Suntory Beam, SMB. Yeah. Anyway, they have amazing whiskeys in Japan, and most of them are fairly reasonable. But if you want to get anything of quality, it can be extremely expensive. So, they have drinks, blah blah blah. I don't think they have any food in that particular establishment, but one thing that was really cool in Japan is you could go when you sit down at a bar in Japan and you order drink after drink, it gets very expensive. One of the things that they do is called a bottle keep. And some Japanese restaurants do that as well. For a long time, you could get a sake cup, right? You would buy the little sake, the choco. It's not a choco, hako, right? Box. It's basically a box with an open top. And then when you went in, you would write your name on that in Japanese, and they would keep it on a shelf. And then when you went back in, they would just give you they give it to you. They do that in the United States at sushi bars. I know. I've seen it. I worked at them. I probably opened most of them. So, but what's cool is they do this thing called a bottle keep. And if you drink a particular whiskey or spirit, then you buy the whole bottle and they put your name on it. I think we're done with the bars. I might do one more at the end, but and they keep that bottle for you. So you pay a slightly higher than retail price, but not as much as the markup on wine is, say, by the glass, as opposed to buying a bottle in a store here in the United States, or even buying the bottle. I need to fix this table. It's really shaky. It's freaking me out. I'm going to spill some water, and then Ron will yell at me again. I'm going to ruin some electronics, I'm sure. But when you keep the bottle, and when you go back, you don't have to pay for your drinks. You pay a seat charge. So when you sit down, it might be I don't know, 10,000 yen. No, it can't be that much. So 2,000 yen. So 2,000 yen when I was there is like $20. Same as downtown, if you don't know that one. But it's really cool because you go in and basically they will put the bottle in front of you. They give you a bucket of ice. They give you the glasses. And Japanese are very fond of drinking whiskey, especially Scotch, with ice. Well, with water, actually, watered down over ice. And I was always kind of why do they do that? Why do they do it? Actually, I love it. Dewar's White Label, a great solid, low, mid of the low end, of scotches. It's awesome when you throw 3 or 4 ice cubes in a the not quite a tall boy, but in a little glass like this, 3 or 4 ice cubes. Your shot of scotch in there, a little water on top, and it's sweet. All the flavors come out. And I found out that the reason they do this, not just in Japan, but when the distillers, the person that goes around in the distillery that tastes scotch and comes up with the description for it, and he tells you when it's done, that's the person that detects all these hidden notes and flavors. They dilute that down to 80% water, 20% scotch. Because otherwise you can't taste all the components. The alcohol's too hot. Your palate's overwhelmed. So, and that's how they drink it. It's 80-20. Now, I don't think you dilute it that much. I mean, more like a 50-50, maybe 60-40. Somewhere in there is a good range. But I just thought that was fascinating. And one other thing in Japan is they drink in the wintertime. They don't put any ice cubes in the glass if it's cold out. They just give you the shot of whiskey, and then they put, it's called oyuwari, right? It's with hot water. They pour hot water in the glass over the whiskey. Now, it's really good. It warms you up fast, but I have to tell you, it also gives you a killer buzz. So just be careful. It's like drinking hot sake. It really sneaks up on you, and it really sucks the next thing when you've had too much. All right. I think we're done with the drinking for today. Look at that. I talked about drinking for a whole half hour, and I didn't have a drop. I swear this is water, not vodka. I'm not a big vodka drinker. All right. Thanks for joining us. Tell your friends, family, not just me, the Food Biz Pro. Tell them about Spoony. Show us some love. Go to the website. Follow us on Spreaker. I don't know. See you tomorrow. Ciao for now.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. President Trump is brushing aside a broadcast speculation of criminal conduct in his administration, as stated by the fired former FBI director Andrew McCabe.
I think he's a disaster. And what he was trying